Hi and welcome to this Key Learning Initiative video. Today's topic is transformations, but specifically reflections over the x-axis. So let's get straight into our examples. There we have our Cartesian plane, and here we have our question. Reflect point A about the x-axis. Well, point A, hopefully you can see, is 0.32. And now we have to reflect it about the x-axis. So remember, that's the x-axis, the flat one, or the horizontal, or the left and right axis. And that's where we are reflecting. Now, just as when we reflected about the y-axis, I use what we call the T method. Okay, I have a shape that looks like a T. At this stage, it's upside down. Okay, the normal top part of the T goes on the axis that I'm reflecting about, and then the middle part goes up to the point, as you can see. Now I'm reflecting about the x-axis, and because it goes 2 up from my x-axis, I then make it go 2 down from there, and that gives me A prime. Can you read off the location of A prime? Hopefully you can see that A prime is 3, -2. X value of 3, Y value of -2. Let's look at another example. Reflect point B about the x-axis. Again, remember the x-axis is the left or right or the flat one. Can you read off the location of point B? Hopefully you can see that it's 5, -1. Now, just as the first example, we use our T, and there we have it. It's only 1 unit down, so we have to go 1 unit up from our x-axis, and that is B prime. Again, can you read off the location for B prime? Hopefully you can see that it's 5, 1. 5 on my x-axis and 1 on my y-axis. So let's look at the two locations of point A and B and their reflections about the x-axis. What do we notice? Well, let's look at A and A prime. Can you see that their x values are the same? For A and A prime, they're both 3. If we look at our y values, however, you'll see for A it's 2 and for A prime it's -2. Let's look at B and B prime. Again, for our x values, for both of them, they're 5. They're the same. If we look at our y values, for B you have -1 and B prime you have 1 or +1. If we compare A and B and A prime and B prime, can you see that my x value stays the same, but my y value, the sign changes? So when reflecting about the x-axis, the x stays the same and the y value sign changes. In other words, mathematically, x prime is just x, y prime, however, is -y, which means the sign just changes. So let's formalize this. X prime y prime equals x -y. In other words, my point that's been reflected, its location, the x value is exactly the same, and the y value, the only difference is the sign has changed. Okay, so if I ask you to reflect a point about the x-axis, you don't need to draw it. You can just work it out using the formula that we've just spoken about. My formula, x prime y prime equals x -y. Let's do 2 examples quickly. Reflect point C, which is -1, 3, about the x-axis. Okay, so our formula, x prime y prime equals x -y. Look at my values for my x and y for C. -1, 3. Let's substitute them in. C prime is -1, -3. See, my x value is the same. my y value sign has changed. Let's try another example. Reflect point D, which is 5, 1, about the x-axis. Again, we use our formula. X prime y prime equals x negative y. And we substitute 5 and 1 into the formula, and I get d prime is equal to 5 negative 1. Have a look. X values are the same. Y values, the sign has changed. Thank you for watching this Key Learning Initiative video on transformations, which, as I said, is reflecting over the x-axis. I hope they have been helpful. Please subscribe to this channel so that I can show you more and more content. Please like and share so that more and more people can watch these videos. Thanks very much.